you look around yourself and see a static environment, nothing is in motion, nothing seems like it is anything other than still. The things that move to you are outside, machines of our own making, or animals and birds. What you don't see is that this static environment is not actually stationary at all. Our perception of our home is a micro view of a much larger macro environment. You are actually riding on a living spaceship flying through space at immense and unimaginable speed. Think about it. You may know that our planet moves around the Sun, and you're okay with that, but the Sun is in the spiral arm of the Milky Way, and it is also moving around the core of the galaxy. Each day we rotate around Sol, we are moving in larger circles too. You are never in the same place twice. This is happening all for free. Your mundane existence is actually an interstellar journey. We may dream of a new technology that could take us to the stars and return us home like we see in the movies, but in reality, we are already there. Think about it. You are an astronaut. You have a life support system, like a spaceship, the ability to make your own food, you are protected from the harsh vacuum of space by an atmospheric shield, and you have astronavigation by observing the stars moving away from us and coming towards us. While it is true that we do not have the ability to direct our destination, where would you want to go anyway? It's not like we have a recorded history of what exists 360 degrees around the centre of the galactic core. We must remember also that the Milky Way galaxy is itself moving, so we are always moving through a new part of space previously unknown to us. So if you can accept that you are already on an adventure through space every day of your life, then what more is there? Well, you're alive. So are you simply travelling on a dead rock? No, your spaceship is alive too. It has to be, because life cannot come from nothing, right? And going further, if your planet's spaceship is alive, then the solar system, galaxy, and universe must also be alive for the same reason. Rocks can't just spring to life. You may feel insignificant in your little life, but you are part of a living, moving ecosystem of enormous size. You may be a tiny cog in a giant machine, but you are witnessing it, you're observing it, living it, and this is amazing. However, can you accurately judge the scale of things? If you look at planets and how they move and interact with each other through gravity, light, and heat, then you may also consider the atomic world as being similar. Maybe you remember how you were taught at school about how atoms look and work, how they form bonds with other atoms, and how they create structures. As above, so below, yeah? What if this universe is a molecule of a compound of a tick on a giant dog's back? Then no matter where you place your perception, this universe is in the middle of a bigger mechanism of life. Then looking the other way, it also reveals the same structures from animals to brains to organisms to cells to atoms and below. All is life. Taking one step further again, if there is a correlation between the elements of life at the macro scale and those at the microscopic size, then perhaps intention and reading the future can be achieved by looking at patterns at any one level of the whole structure. Patterns that form in tea leaves may, for example, represent larger patterns of the universe within the multiverse. If you recognize this and see that you have the ability to observe and read something simple like shapes in wet leaves, then you could have the ability to make an impact on the macro scale of life itself. And you're doing this from down here at the micro level. You could literally drive the future of the universe by changing patterns of thoughts here, in your mind, in this room. It is because they are linked to everything else that this is possible. Squash a bug on the floor, for example, and you could trigger a black hole at some place in a far-off galaxy and cause it to eat a nearby planet. The upshot of being a conscious space traveller on a living planet which carries within its existence the code for patterns of the universe is that you should be very careful with your thoughts, intention, and actions, because you might just affect a spatial anomaly at the edge of a galaxy. Wheels within wheels.